Okay. Hi, I'm live. Or I'm starting it early. We're not actually gonna be talking about anything for 5 minutes, but I just wanted to get on here. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So, I'm just gonna hang out here. Just wanted to make sure it was gonna work. I know I said 6, 5, 7 Eastern. So I'm just gonna hang out here with myself for 4 more minutes in case anyone's gonna join. It's completely unnecessary because this will be available, I believe, for 30 days for anybody who wants to actually see it. I just have a couple of messages because we need some help, and I'm just gonna explain something really quick, and that's about it. Probably about 15 minutes of your time, and it can be played over and over, but it was easier to just do it live. And if you're with us now, or anybody has any questions or anything about anything at all, we can address anything, but it's mostly informative. And hi, Eileen. How are you? Hi, Cindy. Cindy, it says I could bring you on the video. I should do that. I won't. Okay. But anyway, we're gonna wait a few more minutes just in case anybody wanted to see me live. I'm not really sure who would, because people are hiding my podcast because they don't want to see my face. I don't know who that was, but I will find out one day. I crack myself up. So anyway, my podcast is going to cover the Renee case, but it's not always going to cover the Renee case. And those episodes about our trucking life and our crazy life in general will be available on YouTube. And the Renee case episodes will be available on the Justice for Renee page and YouTube as well, for future reference, in case anybody's wondering. But I won't put our kooky trucking videos, podcast episodes on this page, because this is a much more serious aspect of life. So anyway, we have about another minute or so, and then we'll just get down to business. I know that most of the country has been through a crazy winter storm. My glasses are reflecting my phone, and it's making me crazy. Is it making you crazy? Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. Anyway. All right. This has got to be the longest minute ever. Okay. So, 7 o'clock Eastern. It is 6 o'clock where I am, by the way. So, it's 7 p.m. on Thursday, January 29th. And it is pretty cold where I am. I'm in an undisclosed location in Alabama. Our truck is getting some preventive maintenance in the shop, so we are not in the truck, as you can tell. We just weathered a major winter storm. We worked through that. And I hope the rest of you stayed home safely. Pretty much most of the country, from Texas all the way up to the Northeast, up to Maine, were affected by it. And I hope everybody made it through safely. Once again, we worked through it. And breaking my arm, patting myself on the back with that one. But anyway, so the reason why I'm on here is because we will be putting our first episode regarding the Renee Frere case out when I get off the road and I get back home later in February. And that being said, we also are addressing changing the law, seeing that this case has come from a beginning to an end and now has a full story to be told. There are a lot of things going on. There's a lot of new supporters nationwide that don't understand or know the entire Renee Frere murder case story. So we kind of need to tell it again. Those of us from the Monroe area and some from the Connecticut area do know the story from the beginning and now to the end, but we kind of have to tell it again. So the podcast will cover people telling that story again. We are also attempting to change the law because of the way this case ended. It is an issue, and the murderer was not charged. He's free. And in that situation, children who murder children cannot get charged with murder in Connecticut. That being said, in layman's terms, for those who are watching, listening, who are going to see this, we all need your help. We are taking a law proposal that we wrote up to the General Assembly in Connecticut. What that means is that the General Assembly is where the state laws are made, and in Connecticut, that's the only place that this can happen, and when you want to change a law. So, under current Connecticut law, if a child commits murder under 14, no matter how brutal or even if it's intentional, and we know that, the court can't even ask the child if they knew the difference between right and wrong or if they intended to kill. None of that can be done. With Renee's law, we're trying to change that. So there's a lot more involved, and we will get into that. We will have the person who constructed the law explain that to us. But right now, we need the court to be able to look at the facts and in rare cases and extreme cases, possibly be able to change that, where the judge can ask this, where we can pause the statute of limitations in murder cases involving children. It will allow us to review forensics and new technology. And in order to do all this, we need help from everybody, and that means all of you. And we have a way to do it, and it's very, very simple. And we need everybody from Connecticut or everywhere, and we're going to put something on the page and we're going to share it, and it's going to be really simple. And legislatures need us to do this for them, and then they take it to the General Assembly, and this is how we bring it to the legislature's attention, and then they see that we the people want this done, and then they take it to the General Assembly because they have the support of us, and that's how we get the law changed. So they don't expect us to have, we don't have to argue legally or anything. They just need to know that we support it. They need to know where we live, and they need to know that this matters to us. And they need our names and our towns. And we can each help, and it'll just take 2 minutes of your time. So what we did is we already created this letter, and we're going to put this letter on the page, and you guys are going to have to click a button, put your name, email, and your town, and hit send. And then that button, that letter with your name, email, and town is going to go to 20 different legislatures throughout Connecticut. And if we all do this, these legislatures will have the backing that they need from all of us to be able to take it to the General Assembly, and we'll get on the docket, so to speak, and we'll be able to go there and plead our case, and they'll hear us. And that's how you get heard, and that's how laws get changed. You know, we're already working with people who've done this before in legislatures, and they're just waiting for us. This is the process, and they're waiting for us to do this. So that's what I wanted to just throw this out there and just explain it to you. We'll probably do a little video showing everybody how to do it. This is where you put it, and this is what you do. 1, 2, 3, done. And if everybody could do that, we'll be starting the process. And it's not going to be easy. We may have to do it over and over again. And we'll just have to keep getting more and more people and more names. And that's what you do. And we're not going to stop until we get something done. So that's why I'm here tonight, just making this public service announcement. And with that being said, our first podcast episode about the case is going to be with 2 girls from the justice team who are involved in helping change the law, who also knew Renee and are going to tell their story about the night of the murder. They were there on scene. One of them was, the other one knew Renee very well and was just up the road. And they're going to tell their story about knowing her, growing up with her, the night she was murdered, and how it affected them, and what the outcome of the case, how that affected them, and what they're doing and what they hope comes out of this. So we're going to be able to drop that episode by the end of February, so stay tuned. And also, if you are from Monroe, Connecticut, and you remember that night or remember that case, and now that it has got to close, it has an ending, and you never got to tell how it affected you or your story or your time, I want you to watch that podcast, because there's going to be a special message for everyone from Monroe who remembers, who took part, who has their story. I need you to listen, because I have a message for everyone from Monroe who remembers that murder and might have something to say or tell, because you're all part of the Renee Frere story, and now it's time for it to be told. So that's about it. That's all I wanted to say. I think, I just think that we are needing everybody's help. Renee's Law is about it isn't about treating kids like adults. It's about allowing judges to ask the hard questions when facts demand it. Laws only change when people speak up. If you believe this matters, please add your voice. People may think my letter won't matter. That's not true at this stage. Renee's Law, it's not automatic. It's not guaranteed. It can disappear quietly if people stay silent. It'll take 2 minutes. It requires no legal knowledge, does not commit you to anything political. You're simply telling your elected officials, this matters to me. I want to take it seriously. No debating, no arguing online, no expertise required, just participation. Laws only change when ordinary people speak up. Renee's Law will only move forward if lawmakers hear from the people they represent. So, please help us fight for the children of Connecticut and their families. No family should ever have to hear what Renee's family and friends heard. We know who did this. We have enough evidence to prosecute. However, because of the gap in the Connecticut laws, we have no legal mechanism to do this. Case closed. The way the law is written, it protects a violent murderer and it fails to protect an innocent child. Renee's Law will prevent that in the future. So that's what we needed to just get across, and we'll be seeing you in the podcast. And if there's any questions, you can just comment underneath this video. We can answer you. If we will put something on here and tag everybody when it's time to put your name, town, and email and send those letters off. It'll be a 1, 2, 3 thing, and please, please participate and do it. That's what we need to get the legislatures to take it to the General Assembly, and we all go up there, and that's the next step. And thank you all so much for viewing this at your leisure, and I appreciate it. And have a good night, and stay warm. I'm freezing down here in Alabama. This is insanity. It's supposed to be warm. Okay, thank you. Be safe, everyone.